Well, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. The 2025 postseason is upon us. And for the fourth year in a row, the Edmonton Oilers will be playing the Los Angeles Kings in the first round of the playoffs. But unlike the last 3 years, Edmonton does not have home ice advantage. The LA Kings finished second in the division. Edmonton finished third after quite literally limping into the playoffs. I mean, just the last month and a half of the season, regular season, injury after 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 injury. And it wasn't like injuries to like non-important guys. McDavid was out. Draisaitl was out. Hyman was out. Everyone was out. And what's even more was a player would get injured, come back, and re-aggravate an injury. It was nuts. And so as a result, Edmonton literally limped into the playoffs, and they find themselves not having home ice advantage against a team that had the best home record in the National Hockey League this past regular season. But as I fling my headset cord, but I will say this. Over the last 3 years of the Oilers and the Kings playing the playoffs, they have played 8 games in Los Angeles. Edmonton has won 6 of them. Just saying. And looking up the lineup, it is not looking great. I have no idea what Chris Knobloch is doing here. Top line, Connor McDavid between Zach Hyman and Connor Brown. Why is Jeff Skinner not up there? Why are you putting Hyman on the left and not Jeff Skinner? Second line has been the second line all season long, essentially Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Third line, Nugent Hopkins between Jeff Skinner and Trent Frederick. So Frederick is expected to play for all of about 6 seconds probably before he gets injured again. And then Henrik between Janmark and Corey Perry. Defensively, Edmonton is not having Matthias Ekholm at any point in this round. So Nurse, Bouchard, Kulak, Wallman, Emberson, and Josh fucking on. And Stuart Skinner starts in goal. Okay, you know what? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm already going to predict a loss here for the Oilers. That is depressing. Like, that is actually depressing. What the hell are you doing, Chris? Well, and anyway, in any case, let's go ahead and check in the games here. So let's do a quick while we. So we'll do a quick check around all the playoff series so far, because there is a lot going on here. So let's take a look at the league. So in games playing right now, the Montreal Canadiens and Washington Capitals are tied up at 2 at the end of the third. So this one's going to overtime. The Jets defeating the St. Louis Blues 2-1. So they have a 2-0 series lead. Janice, Janias, how's it going, my guy? How's it going? Colorado and Dallas currently tied at 0. First period, and then of course Edmonton, LA. In other series, though, the Toronto Maple Leafs have a 1-0 series lead over the Ottawa Senators after a 6-2 win yesterday night. A game that Ottawa started off pretty well, but their inexperience kind of came through, and they started taking penalties. And I mean, it's Toronto, and their power play has been pretty good this year. I know, right? It sucks, especially for me because I'm in Ontario, so it's 10:22 for me. So I mean, I'm going to bed at like 1:30, but I had a nap before when I got home from work today, so I should be all right. Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto leads the series 1-0. I still taking Ottawa over the Toronto in that series just because it's the Maple Leafs. They don't have a great track record in the first round, but even if they do get past Ottawa, they're going to get steamrolled by Florida in the second round. Yeah, I'm hoping for the Canadiens to win too. Tampa Bay and Florida have not played yet. Game 1 is tomorrow. Very late start for them. I think they're the last series to get going here. Washington and Montreal series is tied at 0, but that's because we have game 1 going right now. And then the Carolina Hurricanes and New Jersey Devils. The Hurricanes lead the series 1-0. Western Conference Jets lead the series 2-0. Oh, I want Florida to win. I want Florida to beat Tampa so that Florida beats the shit out of Toronto. I do not. If Toronto plays Tampa, Toronto's winning that series, and I don't want Toronto to go any further than a round 1 or 2 at best. I want that team to just implode, and I don't like it. I really want Toronto to lose as early as possible. The Winnipeg Jets currently have a 2-0 series lead over the St. Louis Blues after a 2-1 win tonight. Dude, I don't want Toronto in the finals. If Toronto's in the finals, they're going to win the Stanley Cup, and I don't want that. And that would be like the worst case scenario for me. Dallas, Colorado, Avalanche leads the series 1-0. Golden Knights beat the Wild last night, 42. So they lead the series 1-0. And of course, as I said, Edmonton and LA getting underway. Never mind. The Colorado Avalanche just scored to take a 1-0 lead. Nathan McKinnon. Oh, dude, if Edmonton and Toronto are in the finals, Edmonton is not winning that game. They are not winning that series. If that's the Stanley Cup final, just give the cup to Toronto, please. Just give it. I don't want to go through that pain. Edmonton is not winning that series in any fashion. There's no hope. They cannot beat the Leafs. I don't know what it is about Toronto, but they just never been able to. They lost the season series this year in the regular season. I went to one of those games in Toronto. That was not fun for me. I went last year. No, I didn't go last year. I went the year before when they had a 3-1 lead and lost, I think 7-4. Put it like this. I've been to I've been to 5 games in Toronto where they've played Edmonton. Edmonton has 1 win. The other ones are a 6-1 smack where I left after the second period when Edmonton was down 5-0, and I'm just like, yep, there is no point in staying. The other game I went to, they lost 7-4 in regulation after having a 3-1 lead, and that was in 2023. And then the other 2 times, they lost 3-2 in overtime and 4-3 in overtime. And both of those ended within less than a minute of overtime. It sucked. It sucked. And Ovi has won the game. for Montreal. So let's quickly check in on this. So overtime goes. Watching on Sportsnet. Let's just see how this goes because they're still doing the pregame for Edmonton. So 17:40 left in overtime. Ovi off the faceoff. Shot saved by Montembeault. Right in front, Ovi scores, and it's over. Damn it, Montreal. I was really hoping. God damn it, Montreal. Damn it. I was really hoping Montreal would pull that out. All right, so yeah. So, in any case, so I guess while we're waiting for the thing to get going here, I guess what are my expectations for this series? Honestly, the way I view this, I mean, when you have the same two teams meet in the first round of the playoffs 4 years in a row, and one team has won 3 of them, you think the other team is due. And unfortunately, given how good LA has been, how injured Edmonton has been, how inconsistent Edmonton has been all year long, my heart says Edmonton still can win. But my mind is saying this seems like LA's due. And if that's the case, if LA is due, please, for the love of God, make it quick. Make it a 4 or 5 game series. Make it as short as possible for 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Number one, it gives Edmonton the long summer that they need to get everyone back to being healthy. That gives everyone a chance to heal up and be prepared for next season. And number 2, wishful thinking. It gives management the kick up the proverbial backside they need to make the actual changes that they should have been making mid-season. Because this management group, and it's been like this for the better part of a decade, even with the Oilers making the playoffs and being good teams, the way management handles this team is, here's the smart decision that we should be making, but we're going to go ahead and do the opposite. Our goaltending is a problem. We should probably upgrade the goaltending. No, the goaltending is fine. We're going to leave it the same and hope and eventually it'll fix itself. What I find funny about that statement is that every single time they did that, and there have been times this season when management has been asked about the goaltending and then they double down on it by saying, oh, we believe in our goaltending. Immediately the Oilers give them a game where the goaltending costs them that game. Right. And I can already hear people screaming, well, it's hard to, I can already hear people saying, oh, it's hard to change goaltenders. It's hard to deal with goaltenders midseason. The Colorado Avalanche started the season with Alex Georgiev and a backup. I think his name was Julson or something. And they realized pretty early on that goaltending tandem wasn't going to win them anything. So what do? They trade for Mackenzie Blackwood and then sign him to an extension. They trade for Scott Wedgwood and sign him to an extension. The Colorado Avalanche had a starting goaltender and a backup goaltender and got rid of both of them for a new starting goaltender and a new backup goaltender. Yeah. Oh, you can't change goaltenders midseason. Colorado changed 2 of them. Right? And you know what the worst part is? Edmonton doesn't do shit. Right? And what's even worse is the fact that you look at the goaltending available this offseason, the people available are either are not a clear upgrade on what the Oilers currently have, or about the same, which is not what Edmonton need. Edmonton needs someone better than they got. And the problem is the guys who are better than Edmonton has are not available. Mackenzie Blackwood's locked up. Anthony Stolarz is locked up. Karel Vejmelka is locked up. Right? No one that is a clear upgrade on the current goaltending tandem Edmonton has is available. So we're going into next year with bad goaltending once again. And we have shown, the stats have shown, that this team is an elite goalie away from multiple Stanley Cup championships. You can make the argument that the goaltending cost us the cup last year. Right? The LA Kings upgraded their goaltending, for crying out loud. So like, as I was saying, so again, like I said earlier, the pessimistic side of me is really hoping that if Edmonton is to lose this series, if this is the series Edmonton is destined to lose, number one, it's going to suck. Number two, if it is, please, for the love of God, let it be quick. Because I'm really hoping, even though it won't happen, but I'm really hoping that it will lead to the Edmonton Oilers doing what the Washington Capitals did last year. And in case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, last year, the Washington Capitals were the last team to clinch a playoff spot. Quite literally the last team to clinch. And they had no business being in the playoffs. The only reason they made it was because Philly, Montreal, and Detroit kept tumbling over themselves. The Washington Capitals, I think, entered the playoffs last year with the absolute worst goal differential among the 16 teams. You want to know how bad Washington was in the postseason last year? Forget the fact that they got swept by the Rangers in 4 games. Ovi didn't have a single shot on net. Ovi. I'm going to say that again. Ovi. The guy who 2 weeks ago broke Wayne Gretzky's regular season goals record, didn't get a single shot in 4 games, which, by the way, was the first time in his career that's ever happened. Ovechkin, the guy who shoots every game, didn't get a single shot in 4 games against the Rangers. And you know what? Washington got their shit kicked in by the Rangers, and management went, you know what? We need to make some changes around here. And here's what they did. Darcy Kemper, goodbye. Pierre-Luc Dubois, come on down. Jacob Chikrin, come on down. Strome, come on down. Logan Thompson, hi. Vegas is treating you badly. Don't worry, buddy. We got a spot for you here. And they are the second best team in the National Hockey League this year. Management in Washington looked at their performance in the playoffs and said, you know what? We need to retool. We need to redo everything. And look what happened. So if Edmonton is destined to lose this series, oh God, Will Ferrell's on my screen. If Edmonton is destined to lose this series, please, I pray, I hope it is in 4 or 5 games so that management does the right thing. Because you know what? And we always say it, hindsight is 2020, but Edmonton fucked up last year's offseason. Badly fucked up last year's offseason. Because here's the thing. If you have a team that goes to quite literally the farthest it can go in the playoffs without actually winning the Stanley Cup. And I'm talking about Game 7 Stanley Cup final losing by 1 goal. They lost by 1 goal. Literally the furthest they could have gone without winning it. You don't turn over the entire friggin' roster and then double down on old players. And that's exactly what Edmonton did. They get rid of young guys like Ryan McLeod. They get rid of they get Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg get offer sheeted, and Edmonton goes, don't need him. Broberg, I understand. Broberg, I was never ever really upset about, but Holloway hurts. Holloway is the one they should have kept, but they didn't. And you get now, as a result, you get a team that is a bunch of old farts, and no wonder they keep getting injured. They're a bunch of old people. Anyway, here we go. Game about to get underway. Stuart Skinner versus Darcy Kemper is your goaltending matchup. I forgot to mention the season series. So the Oilers and Kings played 4 games. LA went 3-0-1. But it should be noted that the last 2 games between these 2 teams, Edmonton did not have McDavid and Draisaitl, and LA outscored Edmonton by a combined score of 8-0. So anyway, Oilers win the opening faceoff. Bouchard sends it over to Connor Brown. Brown gets in. McDavid going into the corner. Connor around the net. Connor coming out up front. Sends it up top for Nurse. Nurse shot. Blocked in front. Hyman over to Connor Brown. Connor Brown with a back pass. McDavid against Mikey Anderson. And here come the Kings. Kevin, I don't know who that is. I didn't even look at the Kings lineup. I don't care. Warren Fogle gets tripped up. No call. Gavrikov over to a guy. Back to Gavrikov. And we have Jack Michaels calling playoff games. I'm so happy. Skinner. Oh, poke check. Draisaitl. Rocket Richard winner. Draisaitl back pass. Shot. Oh, Kemper with the rebound, but he's going to quickly smother that puck before anyone can get to the net. And Arvidsson gets shoved immediately. And he falls down. Oh, my God. Yeah. This was all right. So the Oilers are going to be in tough today. They don't have Ekholm, who is their best defenseman. And they're playing Josh Brown over Cam Dineen. Like, my God. Like, how do you as a coach look at Josh Brown, who is absolutely horrendous in his own end for a defenseman, leaks chances against, gets beat constantly, barely hits, barely contributes anything, versus Cam Dineen, and go, yeah, we're going to take the guy who's useless. Fiala, Quinton Byfield, Alex Laferriere, Skinner. Stu, what the hell are you doing, man? Just pass it already. All right, Emberson. Up into the King zone. Jeff Skinner. And why isn't Skinner playing with McDavid? The McDavid Skinner Brown line was so freaking good. Shot. Blocker saved by Stu Skinny. Like, come on. Like, Chris, you're pissing me off, man. You went from the best coach that this team has had since Mac T to Dave Tippett levels bad in less than a year. Oh, boy. Here come the Kings. Yeah, there's Josh Brown again. Are you serious right now? Well, here we go. Yep, there goes the penalties. Yep, get those. Gotta make sure the Kings win this series. Brett Kulak going off for holding, it looks like. Now, keeping in mind, now I can tell you guys with some degree of certainty already. Are you fucking serious? Holding the stick for, well, you know what, whatever. I can tell you with some degree of certainty the power play for LA is going to be much improved. So keeping in mind, in last year's playoffs, the LA Kings didn't score a single power play goal against Edmonton. I expect that to change. I don't think Edmonton's going to be that good on the PK again. If I remember correctly, Edmonton only gave up 4 power play goals all playoffs last year, and that's pretty impressive. That's part of the reason why they were able to go to the Stanley Cup final. So anyway, Kings get off the faceoff. Emberson can't get a clear. Byfield sends it around to, I think that's Kevin Fiala. I believe so, number 22. But the Oilers pressure and clear. Man, if that's a penalty, here we go. Kempe. Over to Byfield. Shot. Saved by Skinner. Fiala. Down low for Kopitar. Up top for Kempe. Cross. Shot. And there it is. Yep. I knew it. Andrei Kuzmenko on the power play, 1-0 Los Angeles. And Josh Brown was on the ice. Oh my God. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm ready for the hurt. I'm ready for this to happen. This team was never going to go deep again, which was obvious. Let's go. Here we go. Draisaitl. Over to Hyman. Nothing doing. Here come the Kings. Kopitar. Across. Shot. Here goes Connor. Off the boards into the King zone. Kempe shot. Bouchard, shot, and saved by Kemper. Are you kidding? And of course, Drysdale gets top. Yeah, whatever. All right, here come the Kings. Byfield sends it around. Picked up by Nuge, who's going to find a guy, and that's going to be offside. Drysdale was just a step ahead. Sorry, Ed. Tyler's a queen. All right. Woman. Over to Nuge. Nuge. Just going to send it and dump it out. There's Frederick. Almost at it. Nurse shot. Blocked in front. Nice play by Bouchard to intercept the pass there and prevent that LA from getting out, but he had no one down low. Fogle is going to dump it into the Oilers zone. Skinner's going to stop behind the net. A little bit of a miscommunication there, but Oilers get it out. Hyman's going in on the forecheck. Bouchard sends it over. Kemper's going to stop behind the net. Sends it over to Anderson. One thing I'm doing this year is I don't have my phone next to me, so I don't know what's going on before the goals are scored. So you'll be seeing my genuine reactions here, which is nice. Bouchard. McDavid. Going to wind it up. Oh, Kempe kind of unintentionally got McDavid a little bit stuck there. That was nice. Did I see Janmark out there? What? Okay. Okay, Chris. All right. You know what? I'm not even going to question it. Let's just Kulak. Over to Emberson. Emberson sends it down to Corey Perry. Perry's going to flip it into the King zone. Henrique on the forecheck. Henrique behind the net. Down low for Janmark. Janmark tried to send it out in front. Sends it back to the point for Bouchard. Bouchard over to Corey Perry. Sends it in front. Janmark. And that's going to be a penalty on Los Angeles. Yep. All right. Janmark working it down low. Drew Doughty is not liking it. Doughty, shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. That's a cross check, yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping for that too. Edmonton is going to be on the power play, so a power play that with all the injuries actually slipped outside the top 10. It was, I think it finished 11th in the league, and on top of that hasn't been like the full unit. So Doughty goes off for cross-checking, and the Oilers power play already is out of the zone. So that's fantastic start. Okay, never mind. So the Oilers power play actually finished 9th. That's interesting. I remember hearing them say like a couple weeks ago, and LA is going to get another clear. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, guys. I know you haven't like run this unit in like a month and a half. McDavid back to Nuge, over to Bouchard, over to Draisaitl. Down low for McDavid. McDavid winds it up. Come on. Tried to slip it out in front. Hyman was knocked down. The Kings get a clear. Bouchard back to Draisaitl. Turn spins. McDavid. Come on. Back to Draisaitl. Shot saved by Darcy Kuemper. All right, Bouchard over to Nuge. Nuge tried to find someone in the slot. It deflected off of McDavid's skate, and it's out. So the power play is over. McDavid. Oh, well, it's still on, but it's like over now. Okay, now it's over. 18 seconds to go. That's it. Yeah. Mm. 9 seconds left. 10:40 left in the period. Oh, who is that? Jeff Skinner? Nurse takes out his guy. I think that was Doughty coming out of the box. All right, Wallman. 10:23 left. Wallman's going to skate it up. He's going to send it into the Kings zone. Henrique there. Arvidsson. Finds Jeff Skinner. Shot. Saved by Darcy Kuemper. Shot from number 92. Saved by Stuart Skinner. Nurse is going to skate it up. Turns back in his own zone. Sends it over to a guy. Yeah. Nurse. Dumps it into the king zone. Kemper's going to stop behind the net. And what do we got? Yep. Such is the life of a guy who has to watch it on a stream. Oh, thanks, Janias. Yeah, I should check in on let's check in on Austin, see what he's saying right now. Well, I got my McDavid jersey, their current third jersey, which I hear is not going to be a thing anymore after this year. And I don't think they've, you know what? I say that they haven't, I can't remember the last time I saw them wearing these. Yeah, I don't remember the last time they wore these. So there's that. I got a couple of Oilers hats. I have the old school copper and blue Oilers jersey from like the early 2000s that they wore. I have a Western Conference Champions poster from Save On Foods when they made the Stanley Cup final. That's about it. I don't have it's not an Oilers mask, but I have a goalie mask, a Spider-Man goalie mask that was signed by I think it was Jeff Delorier. When I went to one of their autograph signings. As the Kings get some offensive zone time here. Connor Brown. Draisaitl stopped at the blue line. He has to turn back. Sends it back to Wallman. Wallman sends it up the middle. Out of the reach of Podkolzin. Arvidsson drops it for Draisaitl. Draisaitl tries to send it out front for Podkolzin. Back to the point. Wallman for Draisaitl. Shot. Kemper the save. Kulak. Arvidsson. Podkolzin. Wallman with the shot. Missed the net. Draisaitl. Back for Arvidsson. The second line doing good work. Just can't get anything going. Good offensive zone time. Whole lot of nothing. Kulak. Dumps into the king zone. Vogel sends it across. Nuge. Can't get it past the Kings players. And the Oilers can't clear it out. Vogel. Sends it down low for Philip Deneau. And number 12. I don't know who that is. Frederick. Can't clear the puck. Shot saved by Skinner. Off of Fogel's stick. Jeff Skinner. Sends it into the King zone. Here come the Oilers. David, shot from the point into the glove of Darcy Kemper. I'm not going to lie, Kemper's starting to scare me a little bit. He's looking locked in and dialed in. Part of the problem for LA the last couple of years, especially against Edmonton, has been their goaltending. And Kemper's locked in right now. And he's another guy Edmonton probably should have went out and got. But he's locked up, so no chance of acquiring him. McDavid, shot into the glove of Darcy Kemper. Oh boy. All right. McDavid against Kopitar. McDavid wins the faceoff. Shot. Missed the net. All right, 5:17. Kuzmenko stops up. I tried to pass it back, but whiffed on the pass. He still got it. Shot from the point, blocked in front. Had him Henrique. Gets tangled up with a guy. Byfield. Sends it back for number 6. I don't know who that is. I think that's Edmondson, Joel Edmondson. Trent Frederick. Who only played one game for Edmonton and re-injured himself six seconds into his first shift, which I find absolutely hilarious. Oh, who was that just fell down? Oh, that was Frederick. Oh, God, Trent. Come on, man. Like, it's okay to say you're not ready to go, dude. Don't force yourself out there. You don't have to be out there. Frederick sends it up. Jeff Skinner. Doughty over to a guy. Tried to chop it out. Couldn't get past Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner doing a good job on the forecheck here. Doughty's going to get it. Sends it over to Mikey Anderson. Sends it over back down to Drew, back over to Doughty. Doughty stopping and waiting. Sends it back. Here goes Philip Deneau. Flips it in. Oilers can't clear it out. Trevor Moore. Over to Deneau. Shot from the point. Blocked in front. McDavid. Vogel. Sends it down low. I'll say this. Aside from that one power play where Josh Brown, for some odd reason, was on your top PK and left his guy wide open, Edmonton's done a good job of defending LA in their zone. I'd be a lot more confident in their ability to win this game if they could actually put something past Darcy Kemper here before the end of the first period, which is now down to 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Kulak. Leaves it for Draisaitl. Draisaitl's going to skate it up. Puck Olsen down low for Arvidsson. Emberson. Kempe. Can't clear that puck. Oh boy, here we go. Arvidsson tries to go backdoor. Nice play by Drew Doughty to break up that pass. That was a backdoor tap in for Vasily Podkolzin. Great defensive play by Drew Doughty. Nice. Blocked in front by Edmonton. Draisaitl. 1:58 to go. Janmark. Sends the puck into the King zone. Kemper's going to leave it for, I think that's Joel Edmondson. Bouchard over to Kulak. Back to Bouchard. Sends it up for Corey Perry. The worm. Sends it back. Kulak with the shot. Missed the net. 1:30 left. Kulak behind his own net. Stops up, sends it up. Sorry, he hasn't sent it up yet. Did Wallman just lay out a guy? He did. He laid out number 14. I don't know who that is. 57 seconds left in the first period. Oilers find themselves down by one. Byfield sends it across. Nothing doing there. Jeff Skinner has his stick knocked out of his hands. You got 4 Oilers and 2 Kings, but one of the Oilers is down on the ground. Back to the point. Drew Doughty shot. And that's in. It's 2-0. Quinton Byfield banks it off Stuart Skinner. I'm not wasting my time with this. So I'm going to say the Kings take game 1. I knew this team wasn't going to go far, and now I'm being proven right. So, yeah. Bye.